Part 9 of What If the final season of Game of Thrones was really good. So the Battle of Blackwater Bay is in full swing. Everybody's fighting on the barges of dead people, and our secret strike team is on their way into the castle. Now, prior to the fighting, Qyburn had developed two big things for the battle. First thing being as much wildfire as he possibly could. He couldn't make a lot because, he was stuck at Pike, but he was able to develop a little bit of it for the battle. He also develops basically a prosthetic limb for Jaime to be able to utilize a sword in his right hand. Now, I made this change because I believe that one of the big letdowns of the series is not really showing Jaime as a truly great swordsman, except for a little bit in the first season. This is, of course, because he loses his more dominant right hand so early in the series. However, he did, with a lot of training, learn how to be a manageable swordsman with his left hand, which means if he was able to utilize his right hand again, guess what? He can wield two swords. Very similar to Sir Arthur Dayne, the Sword of the Morning. So this battle gets to show us what a truly great swordsman Jaime really is when compared to probably the best swordsman in Game of Thrones lore. So Jaime's able to go ham on White Walkers with two swords while protecting Cersei because she's still on the boat, kept away from everybody. Now in her cabin, she's having some very strange, terrifying visions about the Night King. She can sense his presence on the boat. He, of course, isn't actually there. He's still in the castle, but he's projecting himself into her mind to terrify her. Now she rushes out of her cabin and out onto the upper deck of the ship where all the fighting is happening. Now Jaime sees her up on the upper deck like, no, get away, get back downstairs. And she's going crazy. This is when Tyrion, who on an adjacent ship sees what's going on with Cersei and Jaime beside him. He at this time is doing all he can. He's throwing wildfire bombs out onto the barges. He's just doing what he can, which isn't much. However, he does witness what's about to happen next. So Jaime, who is fighting off all the White Walkers around Cersei, is starting to get a little overwhelmed. Cersei notices this but can't really do anything about it. So she grabs two wildfire bombs and jumps off of the ship. Now it's clear she fully expected the bombs to go off when she jumped off the ship, but they don't. She just lands into the water and is surprised when she comes to the surface. This allows her to get on top of one of the barges of dead people that the ship ran into. Now, because she lost her legs, she's crawling on top of these skulls and bones with two wildfire bombs in her hand. However, none of the White Walkers are bothering her because she has that weird cerebral connection to them. So she grabs an exposed thigh bone of one of the White Walkers and uses it as a crutch to stand. It's right then that her and Jaime lock eyes. And Cersei spikes the wildfire bomb onto the barge, destroying the entire barge and killing herself. And both Tyrion and Jaime is shocked and heartbroken. But then the rage kicks in, and he destroys every White Walker around him. Like and follow for part 10!